I'm Eric Stark, joined by wheelchair quarterback Paula Wolf. Mike Gross on vacation this week, but we had to talk Penn State, Paula. I mean, you write about it in your column. Mike's not here to talk with me, but I just had too much to get out. There's reports, and it says it's imminent that O'Brien could be signing with Houston as early as today. What is your? I'm torn with this. Where's your thoughts?
I feel the same way. I feel, as I was telling you earlier, that I have mixed emotions about it. I mean, I feel really happy for him because he's done a phenomenal job at Penn State, and I think he deserves a shot at an NFL job. And but I feel like just the fact that he was only there 2 years, I would have liked to have seen what he could have done with Hackenberg over 3 or 4 years, what he could have done without sanctions. If he had a chance to go to a bowl game, maybe even win the Big Ten. If he didn't have to deal with the scholarship limits and to be able to recruit against the Ohio States and Michigans of the world. And so the key, I think, is going to be what Penn State does next. I mean, who their next coach is, and they pretty much have to fill that void pretty quickly, I think.
Yeah, 8-4 record, 7-5 2 years with all those sanctions was fantastic.
Yes.
And the thing is, I would like to have seen what happened once he got through that, because he had a great recruiting class coming in. It's been a while since Penn State had a top 20 recruiting class, and that's where they were right now. And I'm just tired of Penn State just being good enough to make a top 25 or just go to a lesser bowl.
Sure.
I really wanted to see them be a power again. And I really thought this was the coach, where he was doing with recruiting, getting these athletes in here that would help. And I feel sorry for these athletes. You hear these stories that Christian Hackenberg's dad was quoted saying that O'Brien has talked to Christian and they're going to keep it between him. Thomas Hawley is a 4-star recruit, a big defensive tackle, who said he talked to Coach O'Brien Saturday and said, these rumors aren't true. Don't listen to it. And, he's staying. And you've got 4-star recruits as well, and Godwin from Delaware, receiver, Tompkins from North Carolina, receiver, and O'Connor, the quarterback, who is going to sign and be in school in January. So this timing is just really poor.
It is.
And that's what really bothers me the most. And if you actually are telling a Thomas Hawley that I'm staying and you're not, and you're telling these guys this, then you fall into a Nick Saban category for me, which I always felt was a slime ball. I felt like even years ago here with local guy, Manheim Central's Jeff Smoker, he sits there and recruits him, gets him to come, and then leaves right away. That stuff rubs me a little bit wrong. But who do you think takes over at Penn State? Do you have a list of somebody you'd like to see take it?
I really like to see James Franklin, who's the head coach at Vanderbilt. He's, I think, only lost 8 games the past 2 years, and dealing, with a team that is kind of like, it's like Stanford or Northwestern. You have to, you have very high academic standards at a school like that, so it's very difficult to get good players to come there, and he's done a tremendous job. And I think he's a real up-and-coming coach. But I also saw that he might go to Texas, or Texas really wants him. So I don't think that Penn State's going to be able to outbid Texas on this. But I know you never know. So
I'm hoping he's not big enough for Texas.
That's true. That's
true.
But
he's taken teams to bowl games 3 straight years in the SEC.
That's
he's done well. He's from the Chamonix High School.
I think he went to East Stroudsburg.
Yeah, quarterback at East Stroudsburg. So there's a local tie. So I can see that. Let me throw one more name out there. Al Golden. He's at Miami now. He still wears a tie. It'd be 100 degrees, 90 degrees, and 100% humid, and he's there in this tie and jacket if he can, but the T-shirt, he's all sweaty. He thinks he's fraterno. That's his model.
Right.
And that's why I bring that up, just because Penn State. He's a Penn State grad. His wife's a Penn State grad.
Sure.
Would he come here? Well, Miami's just coming off their sanctions.
I would be happy with Al Golden if he couldn't get Franklin.
But what I would not be happy with, let me do my not happy list.
Right, that's true, yeah.
Greg Schiano,
correct.
do not want.
No,
2 years ago, we would have been happy for him. We were like, who's O'Brien? Now I don't want a Schiano.
Yeah.
I don't want Mike Munchak, too.
No.
Mike Munchak just hasn't proved enough. I don't think even though he's been in the NFL a long time, if you're trying to get recruits there, I don't think he keeps these top recruits, these Godwins and the O'Connors there. You need a guy that's going to be innovative on offense. And Schiano, he just had 2 years where he embarrassed himself in Tampa.
He was a really good recruiter at Rutgers, but the experience in Tampa Bay has just been...
He needs to build up his
really
reputation.
Bad. His reputation, is taking a hit.
My fear is that they go through almost 2 years ago what happened to recruiting. When all the sanctions came down, all this stuff happened, they lose out on like a Noah Spence from Bishop McDevitt, who was probably going to Penn State and goes to Ohio State and is playing very well at defensive end. You're going to lose all these guys, and it sets the program back so far. So the timing just could... I'm not saying it's as bad as 2 years ago, but the timing is not great on this. And I'm hoping this just doesn't pass the smell test completely for me, because guys like Holly are sitting after saying, I just talked to him, he says he's not going. So I'm still hoping this is a ploy by O'Brien.
Yeah.
With him and Joyner, the athletic director, don't get along. This is still a ploy by O'Brien and his agent to get a better contract, to get better things in the program. I still have my fingers crossed.
It just seems like there are too many sources pretty much saying it's a done deal. So I'm thinking it's that he's going to go. I mean,
my only problem is, Paul, those are unnamed sources.
That's true.
I'm getting
That's
tired of
true.
hearing
That's
these
true.
unnamed
That's true.
sources. So keep watching, but we have our wish list here.
Yeah. I mean, I feel bad if he really did tell Thomas Hawley that no, these stories are not true, and turns around and signs with Houston. Then I feel like his word isn't worth much. But I mean, he's not alone in that area. But
yeah, it should be interesting. I totally agree with you.
I thought it was interesting though that Hackenberg's dad didn't really say what the conversation was about with Christian. He just said something. He said, "Well, he talked to the coach, and he said we're not saying it," or he was very cryptic about it.
But the other part was he's never been a man to go back on his word to his players.
That's right.
To me is you have to read between the lines, and that's what I'm holding on to as a fan right now. That he won't leave these guys in the lurch. If you want to leave next year, fine, but don't have a recruiting class like. If they can get through this recruiting class, at least this would really help Penn State.
Absolutely.